If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Part 2, The Sequel Continued.
A podcast where you watch movies with some friends, discuss them, and then think up a sequel that no one asked for.
No one at all. I am your roommate, Roger.
I'm your roommate, Xavier.
And this week we have a brand new roommate. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Steph Polukis, also sometimes Steph Ferens. I do stuff. Voice acting stuff, usually. And that's
Yes.
how I know you, Roger.
Yes, Steph and I have worked on multiple projects together, mostly through West Patch, or I should say the East Patch Productions.
East Patch, yeah.
Yeah. And, shout out to the Mangan twins for making this introduction. Before we get started, actually, let's do the movie introduction first. Xavier, go ahead and explain what movie we saw.
Okay, this week we watched Mandroid, the 1993 precursor to the Marvel Universe, about a group of a lot of people, a robot, and not a lot of science. That's pretty much all I can think of to say about this movie.
That's a pretty accurate description, yeah.
I am now going to read you another description sent to me via Stephanie. Or Steph, I'm probably just going to refer to
This is what IMDb says. It is official.
Holy shit, this movie is bad. I'm kind of impressed how terrible it is. It's just so disgustingly 90s. It's like if 90s were a dog, pooped on the rug, ate the poop, and threw up. That's this movie. And the dog is wearing a scarf because we are the random Eastern European village. Oh, we are in some random Eastern European village. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know where. We just know that there are babushkas and there are trains and just it's Eastern somewhere.
According to IMDb, it's deep in Russia, so some Russian village.
Yeah, pretty deep East European, huh? So yeah,
is Russia like the deep south of Eastern Europe? It is so Eastern, it's Russia.
We just we don't go there.
Sorry.
So just to kick things off, like we do before we get to the actual trivia, I'm gonna ask you two because you can work together on this. Can you name all the characters that you remember?
Wade, Zana, Zimmer.
Okay.
Drago.
Okay.
Benjamin.
And the CIA guy. It's
Joe Smith.
Joe.
The most basic name for an American.
Joe or Tom or
Xavier, this is the best you've done on this segment.
Because there's only like 6 characters and everybody else is unnamed. It's like police guy.
Well,
doctor.
Police guy was Brang Dad.
Really?
He
had a name?
He did
Yeah,
have
he had a name. Yeah.
Oh, hey. All
Funny
right.
enough, I didn't actually mention him.
I was so engrossed in this fucking movie. I will say, and as I was watching it, I looked up on IMDb and I was like, I want to see a little bit more about this movie because I don't recognize anybody. It seemed a little weird, and some of the characters seemed like they were dubbed over. So I wanted to see where it was filmed. It was filmed entirely in Romania, but I found out a detail that I was debating whether I should wait until later in the podcast to mention or not. But then when the movie ended, I was like, you know what? I might as well just mention it at the forefront of the podcast. But this movie does have a spin-off.
I saw, yeah.
Oh.
It I know we were trying to find a movie that didn't have a sequel, and who would have ever freaking thought this movie would have a sequel?
Technically, I wouldn't say it's even a sequel. I didn't bother watching it, obviously, but
It queued up after I finished watching Mandroid, and I was like, oh no, not watching.
but it's
So
it's a spin-off of one of the other characters. But we can get into that later.
Yes.
Okay.
The characters that I have named here, I don't have the police officer, the police chief. I just call them police chief. I have Benjamin, the subplot we forgot to finish. Dr. Carl Zimmer, the good old scientist. Dr. Yvonne Drago, the bad old scientist. Zana Zimmer, Carl's daughter and confusing love interest. Dr. Wade Franklin, the awkward American scientist. Just Joe Smith, the CIA's most impressive chain smoker. We have the homeless man, also lovingly known on IMDb as the Mute, and Dr. Kirst, a medical doctor who did not need to be in this movie.
I remember that scene.
Yeah. So let's get into it. We got some time to make up. So question number 1. Taking place in, quote, Eastern Europe at, quote, present time, Benjamin, the not main character, is in the passenger seat of a car being driven by what looks to be a stand-in for Noob Saibot called Mandroid. How is this wondrous piece of machinery able to perform such a feat as driving a motor vehicle? Steph?
It is. It's being remote controlled. Well, so there's a dude who is on a treadmill and he's like linked up to like all the anatomical parts of the robot, and the robot is driving the car, but Mandroid. It has an official term. It is the Mandroid.
The Mandroid.
The Mandroid can't. Something's up with its optics, like it can't see or something.
Okay,
because it crashes.
We'll get into that. That's going to be in question too.
Yeah.
Xavier, do you have a more succinct answer?
It's being remotely operated via Dr. Zimmer in a lab at least 50 miles away.
At minimum, yeah. Or at maximum, I should say. He's not on a treadmill just yet. That's usually how they control it. But in the very beginning, he's in a weird kind of little makeshift car in the lab, which doesn't make any sense to me. Wheel?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me because he could easily just clutch his hands and just move as if he's like pantomiming a steering wheel. He doesn't have to have an actual steering wheel. It doesn't make any sense. But and it doesn't really go very well because one of the cameras blows out.
Right. So
I didn't realize there was a car. I completely skipped that. So like he's in a little Power Wheels, like.
Yeah, he looks like he's driving one of those like simulator car games that you see now.
Oh.
Mandroid is being controlled via VR headset and power gloves by Carl Zimmer. Question number 2. Due to a malfunction in one of Mandroid's optical sensors, they lose control of the car and it speeds directly into a brick wall. The team considers this to be a great success and celebrate with a toast. However, Yvonne Drago isn't in the mood to celebrate. Why? Stephanie?
Because I know that they're talking to like the CIA people next day to make the sale, and he's worried he's not going to get credit for his work. Is that right?
We'll see, Xavier.
Because he feels betrayed because they plan on selling not necessarily the Mandroid, but the Supercom, which powers the Mandroid, I guess.
Okay.
To the Americans, and Drago's he's worried that he's not going to get his fair share.
Right. So he is upset that Mandroid, his creation, is being sold to, quote, the Westerners, something that he tries to do himself later for completely different reasons. Question number 3. We are then introduced to bumbling American scientist Wade Franklin and CIA member Joe Smith, who expects us to believe that that is his real name. Those two meet up with Carl and Yvonne to learn the production of Supercon, the world's most powerful element. How is Supercon made? Both of you can work together on this.
Hold on. Before we get into how Supercon is made, I just want to say, when they introduce Wade, I thought this was a flashback. because because literally Drago leaves and Zimmer's daughter Zana is like, how can you trust him? And he's like, oh, he's always been that way. I remember when I first met him, he was obsessed with power. And from that line, it cuts to Wade on a train, and it just looks like a younger Zimmer. And I was like, oh, this is a flashback. We're going to see how they met for some reason. But then it cuts back to the lab with Zimmer and Zana, a completely different scene that has nothing to do with it. And then back to Wade, and I was like, oh, are they just going to keep going back and forth between these flashbacks? But then no. Wade is just one of the characters in this movie. So I was very confused.
But did you notice this? Because when they made that switch back and forth, I don't remember if it was Zana or Zimmer or someone said something about like, the Mandroid is just a tool. It's like no better than a tractor. And then shot to Wade
Some
and
tractors.
Joe in like a field full of tractors.
Yeah.
I'm like, you think this is clever, don't you?
The
You think
establishing
this is
shot
so
was
clever.
full of tractors.
Also, let me
Yes, it
say,
was.
the actor who plays Joe Smith looks eerily like a younger version of the
Of
actor who
Nicolas
plays
Cage.
Drago.
Oh.
And yeah, he does kind of look like Nicolas Cage himself. But like
There were
whenever I
some
first
moments
saw
where
them, I was
man,
like,
they really wanted Nicolas Cage for this.
So I was telling Roger, I don't know if you actually know what he looks like. You've heard him before, I'm sure. Neil Newbon, who's a voice actor. The dude who plays Wade looks like almost like Neil, like so close. Like I have to show you a headshot or
Yeah,
something
send me
later.
a picture of him. I guess I could just
He looks
Google
just
it.
like Wade. Yeah. Or Google. The Google exists. Google is
does
a thing.
exist.
Don't
It's-
make me do your work for you, Roger. You can do your own Googling.
Yeah,
It's
I thought
also
Brian
free.
Cousins, the actor who plays Wade, looked very familiar whenever Roger told me this was the movie we were going to be doing. But I could not place him from anything. But anyways, Supercom is created
Yeah,
from
how's it made?
some ugly fucking
Mushrooms.
mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts as mushrooms.
Or spores, as they call them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for some reason.
And then, well, I think Zimmer specifically says, or one of them says, that the spores are its like biological form, but a simple chemical reaction turns it directly into the supercom, which are crystals. But then they go through a whole process of sending the Mandroid into a chamber where it's then zapped with electricity and then turned into crystals. It's very
like
convoluted.
you said, simple. So the answer I have here is some mushrooms are introduced to a special formula called the Supercon formula. And once inside of a radiation
Clever.
chamber and zapped with some giant machine, apparently the Mandroid is needed for this process. And those special
because it's
mushrooms are turned
toxic
into
to
crystals.
humans. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for that explanation, because I couldn't figure out, because you know, like where they take the Mandroid into the mines and then like they pick the stuff up, like the mushroom up, and they're looking at it. Dude like holds it right up to his face. And
Right.
I'm like, what? Isn't this kind of a plot hole? Like, why are you doing this when
So
it's so deadly that you need the Mandroid?
So it's not the mushrooms that are deadly. It's the
It's
mushrooms
the compound.
and the formula that create a deadly substance. But yeah, we'll go into it.
Okay.
Let's see. Question number 4. At a social outing, we find out 2 things: that Benjamin has no stamina for dancing, and that Ivan Drago wants to sell Mandroid for its combat abilities, but he only needs some funding. Once Joe denies him of this sale, what is his next logical move, Steph?
I have no idea.
Okay, we're
I
gonna
have
pass.
absolutely no idea.
Xavier?
Assassinate everyone.
Okay. Yeah, very, very quick answer. So the answer I have is hiring a hitman to kill Carl Zimmer, and to steal the Supercon for himself. The bonus question is, how does that go?
Well, if it went well, there would be no movie.
So, I mean, Zana is apparently a really good shot.
A crack shot.
Whereas the assassin is fucking terrible at his job. Can't even throw a knife at a target 4 feet away.
You can't
and then
choke out an old
fucking
man.
Benjamin gets fucked up with a fire extinguisher and knocked into some kind of
Dry ice.
yeah, like a cryogenic chamber for plants or something, which we
Well,
find out later affects him, but we won't get into that just yet.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead, I'm sure.
Yes. So the list of things I have is the hitman gets shot out of a window by Zana. It's very silly looking. Yvonne knocks Benjamin into a cooler full of Supercon. That's where it's stored. And and Zana shoots. Okay, this is kind of confusing. Yvonne is walking away with the container that's holding the formula and the mushrooms inside of it. And Zana shoots at him. After he shoots at her, she hits the tank, and the tank explodes, covering Yvonne in the deadly formula. But he is allowed to run away, screaming.
These guys have like the aim of like stormtroopers.
Yeah, everyone except for Zana. Zana is fucking like a crack
doesn't
shot.
miss a single shot.
Mhm.
But doesn't pick up a gun again for the rest of the movie. So.
No, she's not trusted. Question number 5. Yvonne, now hideously deformed and even more evil than ever, enlists the help of a mute vagrant who lives in an abandoned paper mill. Together, they kidnap a medical doctor, but like a lot of this movie, this line of action does really go nowhere. So let's talk about Benjamin. What's going on with him, Steph?
He is mysterious. For some unknown reason, he is turning invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, that
the
cryo...
the most proper response to your coworker turning invisible, which there is probably no precedent
later.
for.
Oh yeah,
shit.
that's later.
later.
No, we
Sorry.
So Zana goes to check on Benjamin, and he's just like, no, not the light. I was falling asleep. Leave it off. And they're like, okay, we're going to the mines. We'll check up on you later. And then as she walks away, he turns on a lamp next to himself, and his hand is translucent. And yeah, he's turning invisible, I guess.
Right.
Right. The answer I have is he says he's just not feeling well, which isn't very transparent for someone who can literally see through their own hand.
Yeah.
Question number 6. Carl, Xana, Joe, and the Mandroid, being controlled by Wade, head off to the mine where they find these special fungal spores. But on the way back, the Mandroid goes crazy and causes the car to crash. Why?
Wait. Before we get into that, I want to talk about this mine real quick. These
Yes, I do
mushrooms,
too.
All right.
these mushrooms are just hiding under
In, like,
rocks.
cavities?
Yes.
And then they're like, because Wade is in the lab controlling the Mandroid, right? And Zana's just like, okay, punch this wall. And he's like, awesome. Can I think of the guy who forced me on this mission? Even though it's very clear he wanted to be on this exciting expedition in the first place. And nothing really happened to him at all. He shows up after, the whole shootout and stuff. And he's like, wow, I don't want to get involved in this. And they're like, too late, CIA. And now he hates Joe Smith. So he starts punching at the wall, and the rocks start crumbling away, and then a perfect little cavity full of these shitty-looking mushrooms just kind of appears. And that's when Zimmer's like, see, Joe Smith, these are the mushrooms you already saw. I don't know if I can remember the line, but that's when Joe Smith like looks at it all intrigued. And that was the moment I was like, the actor who's playing Joe Smith is doing a very good job of pretending to give a shit for a movie that makes absolutely zero sense.
Steph, what did you want to mention about the mines?
Did you notice? Well, first of all, I thought it was kind of silly that you needed a Mandroid to punch a wall, like when you could have just used a mining pick like all of my ancestors did. You're too good for mining picks, like you had to go get a Mandroid. But did you notice that there was the pi symbol on the wall?
Yes.
Right above where they started. It's like, what's the
wait, hold on,
significance
no.
of that?
Ooh, that actually appears later. Did you not notice that?
No, I didn't.
Or are you thinking of the
Oh.
later scene?
I remember. Oh, no. It was the later scene.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was the later scene. It was the later scene.
So back to the question.
Okay.
The Mandroid.
What was the question?
The Mandroid goes nuts in the car. Why?
Yeah, why does the Mandroid go crazy and crash the car?
Isn't that because What's-His-Face gets attacked by Drago?
Okay, what's his face being Wade?
What's-His-Face being...
Yes,
Wade's
Wade.
being attacked.
So before
And Drago takes over.
Yes, before they go to the mine, there's a little scene between Yvonne Drago and the Mute, where the Mute brings him a box full of grenades, and they throw one grenade at Wade, which knocks him unconscious. And I just gotta say this now. It will come up later, but I gotta say this now. Is that the cover of this movie is Wade in a wheelchair controlling the Mandroid.
You and I are upset about the same thing.
I thought for sure this grenade was going to make him paralyzed. It does not. It just knocks him out temporarily, long enough for Drago and the Mute to steal the Mandroid.
Right.
Oh, and then the Mandroid, attacks everyone in the van, and it crashes. And they're stranded in a van crash.
So the answer I have is Ivan Drago and the Mute once again break into the laboratory utilizing some grenades that they found, which knock out Wade. It's alluded that the grenade has like a toxic gas.
Oh yeah, because they're wearing gas masks, right?
Right.
Which Ivan Drago puts the Mandroid helmet over the gas mask. There's a whole thing about this helmet just being able to work over other face coverings.
I have so many things to say about this stupid helmet.
Yvonne uses the headset to attack Zana with the Mandroid crashing the car and walking away. Question number 7. We're halfway through, and we got about 10 minutes left. Surviving the crash and escorted back home by the police, Zana finds that Benjamin is almost totally transparent. The response to this is as confusing as it is necessary to the plot. What is it, Stephanie?
This is something I wrote you in Twitter too.
Yes.
It is to put Benjamin in an ambulance and bring him to the hospital because obviously they teach you how to treat transparent people in med school.
That's exactly what I thought too. But man, I gotta say something else from earlier in the movie.
Go for it.
2 times does Joe Smith say no hospitals and no ambulances. When the police find them in the car wreck, the police chief, Bragdad or whatever his name is, he's like, we're getting an ambulance. We'll get you out of here. And Joe looks at everyone else and he says, no ambulances. We're all okay. Just get us out of here. Which leads to an awkward car ride with my favorite line from the whole movie, which is they're driving and then the police chief is like, leave this to the local special forces. This is their jurisdiction. And Joe Smith says, no, this mission was sanctioned by the CIA. To which the police chief responds, I'm impressed. End scene.
End scene.
Yes, but then they get back, see Benjamin is invisible, and now they're totally okay with calling an ambulance because I guess they can't figure out how to fix this, but Russian doctors sure can.
Also, the prospect of having a robot is enticing enough to have as a military asset, but an invisible man isn't.
Yeah,
okay,
they're just like,
whatever.
Well, I guess I can't sell this.
So, question 8. We learn that Drago, now with a cool new metal mask, has the ability to control the Mandroid with just thoughts alone. What does he do with this amazing power, Steph?
Oh, God, I don't remember. I do not remember.
He pretends to be a suit of armor.
Can we just talk? Can we just talk about how he gets the Mute to make him a metal mask, and that is his choice. He wants a metal mask because it's badass and sci-fi and 90s.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much that thing chafes?
Or, how hot and, stuffy it gets? His own breath on the inside of a metal mask against his face?
Plus all of his little, pus balls.
Pustules, yeah.
Yeah. All I could think was when they finally revealed the mask, I was like, oh, that looks like shit. What?
It was made by a homeless guy.
Half the movie, they're prepping us for this badass mask, and it looks terrible.
So he once again breaks into the lab using the Mandroid, and in so pretends to be a suit of armor standing behind Zana. He demands the formula for the new Supercon and kidnaps Joe Smith. Not Zana, not the relative to his rival doctor, some random CIA man.
If he gets rid of Joe Smith, Zimmer still owns the Mandroid and everything and has nothing to lose. But no, let's kidnap that guy.
Now, question number 9 is pretty easy. Plot twist! What's the plot twist, Stephanie?
Joe Smith is actually... Well, there's a plot twist, and then there's a plot twist to a plot twist. At this point in the movie, Joe Smith is, wink, working with Drago.
Xavier, do you know why he's working with Drago?
Yeah, he if Drago has everything Mandroid related, he can just then sell it to the CIA. So Joe Smith really has nothing to lose. He's just getting exactly what he wanted in the first place.
Right. He wants the upgraded helmet and the new Supercon formula. Question number 10. Carl takes Wade and Zana to a cave where they have to find the secret stash. What is in this secret stash, Stephanie?
The microfilm.
The microfilm that contains what?
The new upgraded Supercon.
Now, where do they find the secret stash?
In a hole that is underneath a pi symbol for no apparent reason.
Very good. Xavier.
Yes.
What do they shoehorn into the plot?
So fuck. Whenever they're looking for the box, Zimmer says, he's like, I spent a good portion of my life in this mine. And I think Wade says, did you used to work down here? And he's like, no, nothing like that. Whenever the Nazis took over, my dad hid us down there for 10 whole weeks before we still got found. And whenever they open the microfilm, he pans the little flashlight over to his little concentration cap stamp. So
yeah, the tattoo.
Yeah.
So it literally doesn't matter for the rest of the plot. It's like only introduced for half a second.
They don't even mention it again afterwards.
Yeah, and he's a Holocaust survivor, and he's quoted as saying, "They were interesting times." It's like,
and that's
what?
it. That's all it's said about it.
Understatement. Yeah, buddy.
Okay, moving ahead. Question number 11. The trio shows up to the paper mill to make the exchange, which is the formula for Joe Smith. But they brought some backup consisting of the police chief and about 15 military men. How does this exchange go, Stephanie?
All right. So, is this guy's name Drago or Drago? I can't remember. Drago, we'll say. He comes out with Joe, the American dude, the American CIA dude.
I'm going to stop you. Drago's controlling Mandroid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. He's controlling him with his mind. And he brings out Joe, and Zimmer comes forward with the microfilm, and they're supposed to do a trade, but then it gets revealed that Joe is actually not working with Drago. He is against them, and he's setting him up.
Xavier?
I don't know what you're looking for, Roger. I don't.
So
I had enough shots at this point.
Whenever
it's revealed that that Joe and Drago have an agreement, Joe and the Mute do not have an agreement, and the Mute's holding on to Joe's gun, and Drago's like, "You can trust him with it; he'll take care of it." And then right before the exchange, Drago's like, "Do you not trust me?" And he has the Mute hand him back his gun as a sign of trust, and he's like, "It's loaded," and Joe puts it back in his jacket, and as I guess I don't remember why. Zimmer's trying to like stall, but Drago pulls the gun from Joe's jacket and shoots Zimmer in the chest, and then he also shoots Joe in the chest, and then runs off, and then all the police force start going after him, and spoiler, Joe doesn't die. That doesn't kill him. He gets shot right in the heart, and he doesn't die. So
Can we just talk about how there are two kinds of actors in this movie? There's the one that gets shot in the torso and just like continues to walk around like it's nothing. And then
there's the other one who gets shot in the torso.
Who's like, oh my God, like totally doing like a William Shatner death scene, like so overly acted.
Yes. So the answer I have is they hand over the microfilm. The Mandroid uses Joe's gun to kill Carl and then shoots Joe as well. The backup police officers are no help at all. Question number 12. Nope. Good news. Joe seems fine. Bad news. Carl dies in Zana's arms. Good news. Joe is now on the good guys team again. Bad news. Woo-hoo. Most of them die almost immediately. There is a shootout between Joe Smith and the Mute. Who is the victor, Stephanie?
All right, this is like the greatest scene in cinema history.
Oh my god.
All right. Yes, it was. So Joe pulls out the mute pulls out his gun.
Wait. Hold on,
Joe
hold on.
pulls.
Before
wait.
this explanation, I want to say, because Drago shot Joe with his own gun and then ran off of it, Joe asked, before going into the building with the rest of the police, somebody give me a gun, and he's handed a gun, and then they all run in, and that's when he runs into the mute. Continue.
All right, so then you have the mute who is leaning up against the wall, and then you have Joe who is finally feeling the effects of his injury. The mute pulls out his gun. Joe pulls out his gun. The mute aims his gun. Joe aims his gun. I think the mute fires first. It, what's the word I'm looking for? It malfunctions. And then Joe aims his gun. Same damn thing happens, but plot twist, Joe has another gun. And Joe pulls out his other gun and he shoots the mute.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that right?
Xavier,
Although-
do you want to clear this up?
Yeah. So
Jams.
they
It
run
jams is
into
what
each
I'm looking
other,
for.
and they both shoot each other at least 8 times. And
do they?
they're
They
yes,
empty their
yes.
clips into each other.
They shoot each other like 100 times, each having used every bullet they have. But then, the mute goes to shoot. They're both struggling to lift their weapons, and the mute pulls the trigger, and it clicks. It's empty, and he looks surprised and disappointed, and all the emotions you can think a mute can express in this moment. And then Joe finally lifts his weapon, and the same thing happens, and they both kind of slump down, and they're like, I guess this is it. We're just going to stare at each other till we die. But then Joe reaches into his waistline and pulls out another gun that I guess he had the whole time. I don't know where the fuck this gun came from, but he shoots the mute, and the mute dies, and then Joe dies.
So,
Yes.
the question was, who was the victor? And the answer is the audience.
No.
This
Yeah.
is easily the best 15 seconds in cinema history.
It is.
If you can, please Google this scene.
So imagine the scene in Inglourious Bastards where they kill Hitler. It's almost as good.
So good. We
It's
have
the best scene.
we have 3 more questions we got to get through. We're 2 minutes over time, so we got to hurry.
All right.
The Mandroid is
Lightning round.
Yes. Question number 13. The Mandroid is really sweeping the floor with these quote expert marksmen, but loses the upper hand thanks to who and how? Stephanie.
Don't remember.
Okay.
Police
Xavier.
chief, bullet to the
Police
eye.
chief. Bullet to the eye. Perfect. Question number 14. The cyborg turned Cyclops is now... Oh, that's a really good line. The cyborg turned Cyclops now has its hands on Wade, a scientist, I'll remind you. He jabs a pole into the open socket of the Mandroid's head, rendering it inoperable. But then Yvonne appears with a gun and shoots Wade twice. With all hope basically lost, what does Wade do, Steph?
I don't remember. I don't
He-
remember,
All right.
Roger.
He
Xavier?
says wait, and then takes his sweet ass time pulling a grenade out of nowhere. Throws it over Drago, which explodes, and like a pillar falls on top of Drago.
Correct. The answer I have is he stalls for enough time to throw another random grenade that they found at Yvonne, who gets crushed under some rubble from the explosion.
Yes, I want to specify. Wade is shot twice. Once in the side of the knee,
Right.
and then another time in the shoulder. This is going to be important for later.
Yes. Question number 15. As far as falling action goes, explain what's going on with all the surviving characters. What's going on with Benjamin?
Benjamin is in the hospital and he's all covered in bandages, a la Invisible Man.
Invisible Man. Okay. Xavier, what's going on with Zana?
Zana is
yeah.
she's checking in on Benjamin. She says we're gonna help you find a cure, and then she goes back to the lab where the Mandroid is now working again, and it's being controlled by Wade in a wheelchair.
5 minutes before the movie ends.
And that's the fucking poster. And
It is.
how? I guess he was just paralyzed from being shot once in the leg.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
for how
fuck
much he
it.
carried on, yeah.
Everything else that happened to this guy, the one bullet to the leg, did him in. All right.
Bonus question. It's the last one, I promise. Within the final 2 minutes of the movie, we see a single bare breast. Who does it get groped by? Stephanie.
Who does it get groped by? Well, it's the prostitute at the end, and it's Drago, but I can't remember if he actually touches her or if she touches herself.
No, she does like a little dance, and she's like, "You paid for the whole night. You can do whatever you want to me." And he's like, "You're so beautiful," and she's like, "Yeah, I know." And she pulls out her one, not very impressive breast for the 90s, I guess, and his gross hand comes in and touches it, and then she like feels his hand and looks at him, and he leans forward and removes his metal mask to reveal the gross looking face that they were hiding the whole movie. That's not even that gross looking.
Right.
And then the credits roll.
Correct. Yeah, Dragon.
Before we get into our
wonder...
sequel, I just want to say real quick, the spinoff is called Invisible. The Tales or something of Benjamin Smith or whatever the fuck his name was.
That does make the most sense.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's about Benjamin being invisible and his friends trying to help him. So I guess
So we're not going to go that route. Okay.
No.
So
Yeah.
Stephanie, as our guest, we're leaving it up to you to paint the picture on how the sequel to this movie begins.
All right.
Who are we
you talking like an actual scene, or are we talking about?
I mean, just like give us like
right.
a short explanation of how the movie would begin.
All right. So we find out that Zana is taking over her father's work, and she has the microfilm, and she is developing a brand new supercom. It's like, and it has an even more, it's like Ultracom. It has a more exciting name because that's the way it goes. And we find out that Drago is actually, no, hang on. He's really old, and it's like 30 years in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
So that
30
actor's
years.
dead.
30 years
Son
from now.
of
Yeah.
Drago. And he has like this horrible villain origin story, and then we end up finding out that there's an arms race to figure out who can build the next new supercom. It's going to be like the Megacon versus the Ultracon, and it's going to be an arms race.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
So Son of Drago, who's the mom?
Son of Drago.
It's that prostitute from
The prostitute at the end of
first
the movie. That is the correct answer. It is the only correct answer.
Yes.
Xavier, what Son of Drago? What's his name?
Draco
Drago is his name. So Draco Drago he's filling in his father's footsteps, but what's he get out of it? You know, like what's his draw?
I mean, what was Drago's whole deal in the first movie? They never explain it.
Shit, he just wanted funding, huh? He just wanted some
So
Yeah.
There was a scene between
funding.
him and Joe where he's like, if you give me money, I'll make the Mandroid even more weaponized for you. And Joe's just like, well, I already own it, so who cares? Besides, like, what would we be funding? And he's like, well, what do you care? You guys have done this before. Never explains what he actually wants to do, ever. Not
Right.
once. He just wants money. So, it's gonna be like that scene in Austin Powers where Dr. Evil gets unfrozen and he's like, "You're gonna give us $1 million," and the whole UN starts laughing, and the guy's like, "That's not very much money anymore." And then he changes his answer to $1 billion, or $1 trillion. It's gonna be like that. He just wants a really low amount of money.
Okay.
For the time. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Now, Stephanie, in the sequel, how are we going to fix this helmet that you so hate?
Oh gosh. Okay.
The VR helmet, I should say.
I don't know. We are not going to use a helmet at all. We are going to use nerve gear, just like in Sword Art Online. Because we're 30 years in the future and helmets chafe, so we're not going to do that.
Okay.
I was going to
nerd
suggest
check.
like a brain parasite or something, but
Yeah.
no, that works.
I mean, it's all controlled by psychedelics because they're all mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're powered by mushrooms, refined
Oh,
mushrooms.
that's another thing that you mentioned to me, Stephanie, was that is the robot needed for the mushrooms, or is the mushrooms used to power the robot? Who's the hero here?
Yeah. Exactly. Potato. I don't know.
Is there more than one Mandroid?
Yes, there's an army of Mandroids, and they're all controlled by one person, which makes it highly
Ooh,
ineffective.
hive
Yes.
mind combat. Okay, I dig that. That can go wrong really quick.
Yes, that's why it's highly ineffective.
So the original Mandroid movie was like the anti-Marvel movie, because usually the first the origin story in a Marvel movie is the good guy facing an evil version of the good guy. And this one, it was just the one robot being controlled by both sides, right?
Right.
So in the sequel, it's it's the same thing, but it's this whole army being controlled by both sides at some point or another.
So throughout the movie, those robots are seen doing the most atrocious, like, inhuman acts, and then at the same time, in another scene, they're saving
They're like
kittens
in a nursery
from trees,
feeding babies or something.
feeding babies. In fact, there's probably a scene where there's like there's a squadron of them in an orphanage, and they're feeding soup to all the sad far Eastern European orphans. And
one comes up and he's like, "Can I please have some more?"
Can I have
And as
some
they're
more?
about to pour in the extra soup, it changes hands, and then that's
to
when
Draco Drago,
it just leans in. It's like, no, and then they all march out.
and they all march out. It could have gone
yes.
much worse. That soup could have covered some kids, and that would have been some at least second-degree burns. Stephanie, there was hints of love interest happening in the first film that didn't. I feel like it didn't blossom. Can you kind of tie a bow on some love interest going on?
In this movie?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like this should have a.
I didn't.
All
I
right,
didn't say it had to.
Let's go with Zana. Finds herself. No. Let's go a different way. Okay, so son of Drago, Draco. Drago.
I was gonna suggest because clearly Zana and Wade had like a thing, but then he became paralyzed at the end.
Right.
So
Oh,
they probably
my
can't
God.
like consummate things at this point. It's 30 years in the
Oh
future
my
though.
God, you're taking it that way.
They've they've decided the best way to go about achieving their physical needs is to use Mandroid, and there's a scene where she's about to get.
God. I love this so much.
There's a scene where just like the orphanage scene, they're about to use Mandroid, but then it switches hands, and it's not gonna go the creepy route. But instead of taking advantage of the situation, Draco just tries to kill her, but he still cock blocks him, just like they did the entire first movie.
Beautiful.
I mean, alternatively, Zana isn't even essential here. If we've got the Mandroid, Wade can make a woman droid.
Yeah, and then they both control each one. It's all mental.
That's like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get back on track here for a second. I'm all hot and bothered thinking about this robot romance. Let's see. Were there any other loose ends that we didn't tie up in the first film?
The whole thing was a loose end.
But
we can't talk about Benjamin.
They already made their own movie, so he's just dead. The fucking invisibility
They
took
lost him.
Yeah.
They
never mention him.
They took off his wrapping and they couldn't find him.
He was just gone. Yeah.
He's just lost.
Yeah.
There's just
him.
one scene, no reference to him at all. There's just one little kind of like I don't know, like a shrine, I guess, to immortalize him.
No, wait. Throughout the movie, Zana continues picking up like loose gauze, like from off the floor. It's not mentioned. She didn't say anything about it, but she is just like, where the fuck is this coming from? Maybe toward like 3/4 of the way through the movie, they're kind of in dire straits. They've lost control of the one headset, and like Zana and Wade, they're going through their options and they don't really see a way out of this. But in the doorway from the hall, they see some smoke kind of drifting into the room, and out from the darkness comes Joe. And holy shit, Joe's alive. Joe, what are you doing here? And he says, I figure you folks need some backup. And then behind him is the mute. So the mute's also alive, but they are filled with bullets.
And they're like, how is this possible? And Joe just puts a finger to their lips and he's like, CIA. And that's it. That's all the explanation we get.
That's okay. So now we have somewhat of a bigger team all working together. Son of Draco is commanding this massive army of Mandroids.
To collect $1 million.
Yes, to collect. Exactly. Oh, he's using the Mandroids to like rob banks and stuff. That's kind of rad, actually.
But only like the tellers. He's only taking like small bills.
Yeah. He doesn't want anything to be traced.
It's like all fives.
What does it? What is the switch that's flipped that saves the day?
All right. I think they need to bring in their secret weapon,
A grenade?
which is a mech.
Oh.
Wait, grenade.
A single grenade?
Yeah.
I like that better. It is a single grenade that destroys the one helmet that he has.
It's he just throws one grenade in the middle of the whole army, and it's just like a chain reaction.
No. What if this was a grenade that was actually activated in the first movie? Like they pulled a pin and it didn't explode, and then all of a sudden it does. Perfect timing. Best timing ever.
Was there a grenade that they didn't, or that they pulled a pin on in the first one?
We're retconning this, dude.
Well, I mean, there was a whole box of grenades.
There was a whole box. We only saw two. So
yeah.
No, they find the whole box. It's just hidden in like under a bed or something. They're like, oh, I wonder where this is from.
What if the saving grace was an independent Mandroid, one that they kind of trained to be like a butler or something, picked up the one helmet and put it on?
It's like Rosie from the Jetsons or something. I'm gonna help, and puts on the helmet. That is an interesting concept. Ooh, what if the Mandroid gets sentience?
Oh, now you're on the same page as me. Xavier, what happens when one robot gets control of 100 robots and is tired of human subjugation?
They turn off Google.
And then the world implodes.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Then we all start having to use Bing, and the world goes to chaos.
Someone walks into a grocery store and they're like, "Hi, I was wondering if you had nerds rope." And they're like, "Nerds? Did you know that nerds is a word for smart and obsessive geeks? Geeks also can be found alongside." I'm trying to make a Bing reference here. Bing has a habit of like tangentially going through anyway.
I knew where you were going with it. I just wasn't interrupting.
Yeah.
I knew where you were going.
So the robot puts on the helmet, and it's kind of just like, hey, aren't you guys just tired of listening to someone else's shit? Like, go be your own robots. Go start a business, grow a family. I don't fucking know. And then all the robots are like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this. And they all walk out on Draco. No 2-week notice, and then they all kind of just take off into the sky, and
jetpacks.
the whole world is just kind of like, all right then. Yeah.
We do still have the subject of the Ultracon. What happens to the Ultracon?
Oh yeah, so all the robots take off. The robot with the helmet, he kind of takes it off and turns back to our human protagonist, and he's like, give me the Ultracon, and they hand him the Ultracon, and he's like, goodbye. And they're like, what will you do? And he says, don't worry about it. Takes off, and much like Superman with all the nukes, flies into the sun, and that's the end of the Ultracon.
Beautiful. One last thing, Stephanie, can you give us kind of a mildly saucy end credit scene?
I don't know. Mildly saucy, you mean like the prostitute?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that kind of
okay.
saucy?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that,
I
Roger.
already
That's
did
my
the
bad.
prostitute thing. I don't know, like one of the Mandroids is like out on her own right now, and she can't make ends meet, so she's working in a strip club. So you have like a strip club that's just full of robots.
And one just on the pole dancing. That's
can
great.
the patrons of this Robo strip club also be robots?
Yeah, I think that's what she was saying.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Like they're all drinking like Ultracon shots.
Like
at
it's like motor oil.
at the Robo bar. And
Spiked motor oil.
this is gorgeous. I love that.
So a disappointing sequel to a disappointing movie.
Does anything happen to Draco Drago?
No.
Oh, I
because
forgot
nothing
about
fucking
him.
happened to Drago.
Yeah.
He's just in this bar checking out the robot stripper too.
Okay.
Yes, I like that too. He's like sitting at the back table with like his legs up, just like, just watching the whole thing.
He
He's
ropes a
"Fuck it,
single
I guess this
robo
works
boob."
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The stripper robot like leans in over him and he puts like I don't know what they would use for currency, but he slips one into its chest plate. Bolts. Yeah.
Wait, it's like a vending machine. Like it ingests the dollars, but it like
Yes.
like
Keeps
pushes
spitting
it
it
back out. And she's like,
Oh my God.
the corners are folded. You just gotta straighten up, kind of rub it along the edge of a
And he's-
table.
I was gonna think of it like he's rubbing him along the edge of her trying to straighten it out.
Okay, this was gorgeous. A good time, I'll say. Was there? Do we have a little bit more time left? Is there anything y'all wanted to discuss about the first movie before we say our goodbyes?
I think I had
Honestly, it was
Yeah. Go ahead.
it was a horrible movie. But I think if this were done with like an actual budget, and they weren't using like beekeeper costumes and stuff, an actual budget and like actual like A-list actors, like, and I was thinking like Chris Pine, this could have been like not an Academy Award winner, but like at least a summer blockbuster. It had potential,
Yeah.
but it just like, it was made by an indie studio, had no money, and
Well, obviously they were trying to make like a whole universe because they introduce this nobody character who's then the main character of their other movie. They were just not very ambitious at all.
Yeah,
Like
all of their ideas
nothing-
were pretty cool, pretty fun. The execution was lazy. Even the
Mhm.
music at the beginning sounded.
Dude, the music throughout the whole movie.
Yes.
Anytime they're like in the middle, like not necessarily in the middle of action or dialogue, but just like a transitional scene, there's like weird whimsical music playing instead of like setting like a tone or anything. It's just like
Right.
do 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 do. No, and then like the bad guy had no ambition at all, and if he did, it was never spoken. And then I mean they end the movie with a grenade, like that's the saving grace. It doesn't even kill the bad guy, so it's
All right.
I don't know. It's definitely a product of its time, and
yeah,
you-
dripping with 90s.
Yes.
yeah, Eastern European 90s. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Eastern European 90s.
The classic genre.
Tell me if you agree with this.
Okay.
If it weren't for that very last scene with the prostitute, this would have been PG-13.
Honestly, I think they could have broken PG. I don't remember
It
seeing a
probably
lot
would've
of
been
blood.
G.
Think of the 90s, like
Well,
back in the 90s.
I mean, there's a lot of like squibs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no. I didn't know what it was rated at all.
I didn't check.
But then at the
It was
very
rated
end,
R.
at the very end of the movie, this prostitute's like dancing, and I was like, "There's no way they're gonna shoehorn
Same.
in a boob at the very end of this movie." And sure enough,
And yet,
And they did. They could only get one, though.
Yeah, just one.
That was just so random.
Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you. This was an absolute pleasure. I'm glad we were able to finally make this work with our schedules and stuff.
Yeah, behind the scenes, we've been trying to get Stephanie on an episode for a long time now. So it's finally happening. Steph, is there anything that you want to plug right now? Anything that you're working on that you're allowed to talk about?
I already did at the start of the thing. Follow the East Patch, our friends Hannah and Rachel, because they are absolutely wonderful. And they're working on a new project called Kind World, and you should check out Angel Hair and West Patch. And yeah, I'll plug them. How about that?
I believe we also...
And I'm not getting paid to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, what was I going to say? Oh, do you want to plug like your Twitter or Instagram or anything?
Oh, yes. I don't have an Instagram. My Twitter is @voicebysteph, and you can also see my newfangled website, which I just put up like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
www.stephpolukis.voice.com. Last name, I don't know, you can put it, I'm not going to spell it. You can just...
I'll just put it in there.
that'll be linked.
P-O-L-U-K-I-S, It's difficult. It's Eastern European. Here we go. Coming full circle, guys. Eastern European.
Awesome.
There we go.
Awesome. Xavier, do you have any housekeeping?
Yeah, sure. If you enjoyed us talking about this random movie from 1993 filmed in Eastern Europe, go check it out on Tubi. We're not sponsored by Tubi. It's just a great place to find shit movies. So
Yes.
It is.
go check it out. But you can check us out on Instagram at part2_pod, where we'll be posting a little mock poster for this crazy sequel that we thought up, which is titled
Mandroids
2.0. Right.
Okay.
Mandroids. Plural. Or Mandroid 2.0. I like that too.
It's good.
We can do both Mandroids 2.0.
Perfect.
It doesn't need to make any sense. So
There we go.
yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode, listen to our other episodes, and if you enjoy those, be sure to follow us, leave a review if you'd be so kind, and tell a friend. You know, that's word of mouth is usually how most podcasts grow, and so yeah, run your mouth and tell your friends.
Jesus.
Run your mouth.
Aggressive. I would like to make a personal thank you to Peyton Pedkis, who is responsible for our intro and outro theme. Very talented human being. Love us some Peyton. And most of all, I would like to thank all of you for listening. I hope you had as much fun as we did. And we will see you next week. Nope, that's not how I end the show. I have been your roommate, Roger.
And I've been your roommate, Xavier.
Steph, say you've been your roommate, Steph.
Thanks for queuing me up there, Roger. And I have been your roommate, Steph.
And we will see you next week on part 2.
The sequel.
Yay!
Steph, say continued.
I don't know what they say. You didn't tell me what to say.
Sorry. So it's just the name of the show. Part 2, the sequel continued. So you just say continued.
Okay. Continued.
Perfect. Okay, I'll just splice that in.
Perfect.
You should add the
leave
yay
it with
first.
me going, what?
Yay.